Hello and welcome to CIO Leadership Live in ASEAN. My name is Shireen Robert, editor of CIO ASEAN, based in Singapore, and we're back for another episode in conversation with IT leaders across Southeast Asia and Hong Kong around leadership, innovation, and business strategy. This is a bit of an Earth Day special, and we're looking to highlight and outline the role of technology within our global ideals for achieving a greener and cleaner world. To do that, I'm really pleased to have the expert insights of Geetha Gopal, founder and CEO of G Infinity Consulting, based in Singapore, and I have to mention past year CIO 100 winner. Welcome, Geetha.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you. It's always wonderful to collaborate with you.
All good. It's lovely to always work with you as well and always gather your great insights and advice. So just for our audience, for them to get to know you a bit better, maybe you could share a bit more about the work you've done in the climate tech space and how has climate tech basically evolved in recent times, and how are you personally working with organizations to make ESG more than just a buzzword?
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for this opportunity once again. Like you introduced me, my name is Geetha Gopal, and I'm the founder and CEO of G Infinity Consulting. And I focus on carbon management, carbon projects, emerging technologies, and management consulting. I consult in both the climate tech and regular digital technology space. And over the last year, I've been fortunate to be closely associated with the climate tech industry, where I've been doing projects and solutions in terms of DMRVs, digital measurement reporting and verification tools, digital carbon registries, to name a few. And your question on, how has climate tech evolved recently? Certainly, the climate tech space has evolved drastically over the last few years simply because awareness has increased, and that's because of all the initiatives that collectively, as from the United Nations, from countries, from contributing companies. These initiatives have increased awareness, and especially from the climate tech space, this problem actually provides us opportunities to find solutions using technology. And as we have seen, a few industries have actually expedited, for example, the renewable energy space, clean transportation or e-mobility space, waste management, reforestation, carbon capture technologies, etc. And these innovations have not only revolutionized industries, but they also provide opportunities for businesses to reduce their carbon footprint and embrace sustainability. And me as a consultant, what do? I work with organizations in terms of strategy and technology adoption. In terms of strategy, I help organizations to integrate their ESG considerations into their core business strategies and operations. And that means we involve in assessing their current state, assessing their current footprint, setting ambitious targets for them, and working out plans so that they are able to meet these goals. And in terms of technology adoption, we assist companies in leveraging climate tech solutions, either through existing solutions or building new solutions based on the need. So that's what we do, Sharon.
Thank you for that overview. And I think what you mentioned was a bit more of the resources available to organizations out there in terms of what they can do with ESG, or how they can make ESG meaningful. But in reality, how do you see organizations right now approaching climate tech in this particular region? And do you feel that CIOs are being tasked with embracing it as part of their wider IT strategy, just so that, this is, essentially a technology focus when it's an approach to the climate crisis?
I think I look at it positively, and I definitely believe that organizations are increasingly recognizing the importance of using technology to meet their strategic goals. Right. And many are adopting proactive approaches to integrate climate tech solutions into their operations, that thereby it naturally contributes into their sustainability goals. And having said that, CIOs are being increasingly integrated into their sustainability planning. So just like CISOs, just like CSOs, your chief sustainability officers, you have CIOs who are tasked with sustainability goals through technology. And thus, I feel CIOs are indeed playing a crucial role in this shift. And as organizations continue to increase their strategic sustainability goals. And when CIOs have to work together with CSOs, and where do we start? We start with strategy. And when organizations set themselves strategic sustainability goals, then the natural course to meet those goals is using technology in most cases. And that is why I feel that this association between CIOs and CSOs is very important for organizations to continue to reduce their carbon footprint, measure their carbon footprint, report their carbon footprint, and continue to meet their strategic sustainability goals.
And we'll get into that relationship a bit more further later on in this discussion. But something you mentioned earlier was, referencing the United Nations. So obviously they have set out the Sustainable Development Goals, which I think is quite a good guidepost for organizations when it comes to where they need to get to, or at least there's a sense of collective. There's a collective mindset that we can have together as a society in terms of where we want to reach. But when it comes to technology itself and how companies are experimenting with it to contribute and work towards those ideals, how do you see them being able to do that in the space?
So the UN SDG, right, United Nations Sustainability Development Goals, among them, we can take a few of them which are actually quite easier to handle. So let's take renewable energy that falls under affordable and clean energy, which is SDG 7. So companies are investing a lot, as you can see, in renewable energy technologies like solar, wind, hydropower, biomass, etc., to reduce their carbon emissions and to promote clean energy access. And then you have circular economy, and where not just companies, like countries are embarking on circular economy practices and technologies to minimize their waste generation, increase recycling, and promote reuse, extend product life cycles, etc. That's your UN SDG 12, which is responsible consumption and production. And then you have, let's say, financial inclusion or increasing, quality of life, financial quality of life. UN SDG one, which is no poverty, and UN SDG 8, which is good work and economic growth. So fintech companies are contributing to this by leveraging digital platforms and mobile technologies to promote financial inclusion, to provide access to quick banking services, secure banking services, and empower basically the undeserved communities or remote communities. So this is all contributing in different ways to the UN SDG goals. I've just given you a few examples. And let's take UN SDG 13, which is actually climate action. And like I said, right, companies are investing in climate tech in many ways. And if you see in the last decade, I understand from some researchers that climate tech is the space where maximum investments have happened in the startup community. So that means a lot of money and investments are going into climate action. And whether we are reaping the benefits of it, whether all of them are bear fruit, that is another question. But all I'm saying is that awareness is there, that those investments are going into this, and like solutions like carbon capture, e-mobility, and energy efficiency, these are all picking up. And this, I believe, have a direct impact to promoting climate action, to reducing the climate crisis through technology.
And something else that you mentioned earlier was this growing trend of the Chief Sustainability Officer. Like, we see more organizations opening up such a role, although maybe not many of us actually understand what encompasses the role itself. But in terms of working internally, how should IT leaders work with the CSO, or maybe is the CSO supposed to make the first step in terms of reaching out to IT and like finding out how actually they can understand and implement climate tech in their organization?
Right. So Shirin, I believe that, like I earlier hinted, CIOs and CSOs, or whatever title they bear, as long as you have these goals in your organizations and you're tasked for it, you should look up to the CIO as your ally. to get this securely implemented, and basically those targets achieved, right? So they should be allies, CIOs and CSOs, and that means like they should have shared goals, they should have common interests, and when I say common interest, they should have common objectives. So what is the strategic initiative of your organization? What are the what are the initiatives that can be undertaking under that strategy? How can technology be integrated to meet those goals? This should be the thought process, and there should be trust and transparency between these two parties, so that CSOs who have a certain skill set, which is because they are the sustainability expert, that's why they are on that role. But whereas IT leaders or CIOs have technology knowledge, and they know what can be implemented securely in their organization, etc. So having these unique skill sets, the idea is for them to work together on common goals. So, and each of them provide their skill sets, their expertise, and implement solutions, and have measurable outcomes that can go into the KPIs of both these departments, or both these leaders, and can be measured as a common outcome. So yeah, then cross-functional collaboration. So in most cases, right, it's not only the CSO, it's not only the CIO who has to be involved. In fact, in almost all cases, such goals can only be met when you have cross-functional collaboration across the organization. Only when sustainability goals become everybody's KPI. It's not just the people on top their KPIs, it's every layer on top, below. It should be everybody's KPIs. Only then collectively as an organization, these goals can be met. And last but not least, we talk about technology. We should, first and foremost talk about data. What data can, the IT leaders provide to CSOs for measuring the impact? What data can these technologies offer to the company reporting? All this thought process has to go in, and I think that will come only when there is trust and collaboration between these two parties.
And just going back to the beginning of it all, I guess we are talking about companies who maybe it's a misconception that they need to have like a lot of money or a lot of investment and a lot of resources, manpower, maybe even to really get started on these or maybe mature in their climate tech journeys. But what is your advice for organizations who have yet to begin their climate tech journeys and are keen to make a start, but maybe they lack resources, the manpower as such? What's your advice for them?
Yes, I feel that if you don't measure something, you can't manage it, right? So for organizations who don't know where to start, the first step would be to assess their current state, and that can be like by beginning to have a thorough assessment of the organization's current environmental impact, their energy usage, their sustainability practices, and then identify areas of opportunity and the potential areas of improvement. And once you identify where you stand, then the next step would be to set realistic and clear goals. And that means to have clear and measurable goals that are feasible or practical for your environment or your setup, and compare yourself against industry standards, and set small targets and start. That's a good place to start, if you ask me. And we should not also underestimate the power or the impact of engagement with employees and increasing awareness. So to raise awareness within an organization on where we stand currently in terms of sustainability goals, or what could be the organizational benefits when they collectively embark on new sustainability practices and goals. So this kind of education and empowerment will actually go a long way for companies. And another thing is leadership support. If the leadership does not have a clear commitment to these things, I think none of it will be possible. Commitment, it can be in terms of moral support, it can be in terms of investments, it can be in terms of guidance, etc. And always start small and scale up. And especially in these things, when you're starting something new, it's always good to set small targets set up small pilot projects which are measurable and where you can see the impact and the outcome, and then you go about it and you scale up depending on the wins that you see. And collaboration. So in many cases, right, we do not have to reinvent the wheel. There are several solutions outside there in the market at very reasonable prices. I'm not supporting anybody. All I'm saying is if we seek, we can find good partnerships or in terms of technology or support. And that's another place where you can start. When you don't know where to start, seek right partnerships, have trusted collaborators, and start there. And whatever we do, the ultimate goal is to have measurable and reportable outcomes or KPIs. So whatever we do, we ensure that whatever we do is measurable, and we can see the results, whether we have achieved it or not. And finally, the thought process of why are we doing all of this? Is it is it a buzzword? Are we just ticking off some boxes? No, it should be heartfelt. We are doing this for a cause, and every country in the world has committed to climate action. And so if an individual contributes to this, it helps the company to fulfill their goals. If a company fulfills its goals, then the nation fulfills its goals. If the nation fulfills its goal, then the whole world fulfills the climate commitment. So yeah, this is how I see it, Shirin.
It's certainly a hugely important topic and not an exaggeration at all when we say that it impacts the global future. So I'm really grateful for the fresh perspectives that you're bringing to us on the state of climate tech and innovation and adoption. And I wish you honestly all the best with your new practice. I'm so excited for you, and I hope that you will be making the impact on organizations and really helping them to kickstart their climate tech journeys.
Thank you so much, Shirin. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the time. And yeah, I really enjoyed. I always enjoy talking to you. Thank you.
Lovely to always chat with you as well. And to all of you out there, we wish you a very happy Earth Day and thank you for tuning in.